Hey there, commercial construction coffee talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corson. I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation Magazine. This is what it used to look like when we were printing. We're digital now. I'm pulling out some archives. Issue 2, 2021. Calva Skin Therapy. We appreciate them being on the cover. I always like looking at the issue. Let's see what this one was. This one was 164 pages. Nice, healthy issue. Must have been the 1980 anniversary, so I've got my USA and Jim Craig in the net, and actually went up to Lake Placid a couple weeks before they had the Olympic Games, and I skated against Lake Placid High School and Northwood School, which is just top prep school. I went to prep school in New Jersey, and Princeton Day School, and the petty school where I went. We shared a bus, and we went up, and we kind of did the round robin that weekend. But great memories playing on the Olympic rink before they won the gold medal was priceless. I'll always remember that. But it was really cold up in northern New York at Lake Placid, freezing cold in January. And I remember running around there, man. We were layered up, but always like holding the magazine. And but this was the last issue I published printed was August of 2021, and we've been digital. Haven't looked back since. Don't miss the post office. Don't miss the printer. And had about 49 million people hit the website last year consuming content. And this year we're on pace for 70 to 80 million this year. It's just insane. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and we're just content driven. And it's been an amazing transformation from print face to face to digital. And all of you out there that consume our content, really appreciate y'all finding us on the web, and couldn't have done it without you. So you're gold in my eyes. But today is Tuesday the 15th. Sizzling hot down here in northern Atlanta. I'm up by the lake, just sitting out on my porch. My wife and I built this house ourselves. First time I did a ground up build, and it was a spec home, and we're still married after 30 years. And but it was a learning experience dealing with the municipality, permitting, getting all your subs together, weather delays. I can go down the list, but the house turned out great, and we're looking forward to doing some more builds. And I hear there's a house shortage in the United States, so we're raring to go to do our part if we can. But we just had the Independence Day weekend. It's kind of like a 6 month halfway point in the year. We're going into the second half of 2025, and it's an amazing time to be alive. So much going on with construction, technology, AI, politics. I have no control over, so I kind of just glance and see what happened. But it's just never a dull moment. And time's flying before you know it's going to be. School starts down here in a couple of weeks. Then you got fall, and then before you know it, we're going to be in the holiday season, ringing in 2026. So today I've got a nice lady up in the Granite State up in New Hampshire. Her name is Mandy Bishop, and she's a project manager for IMAGINIT, and they're a software technology company. Mandy, say hello to our listeners out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for
Yeah.
inviting me.
Well, we appreciate it. And with project managers and software and technology, I mean, everybody's trying to figure out the edge of how they implement it and so forth. And especially with AI, every AI is getting intertwined into everything. And I figured it was a good time because right now we just had our halfway point, and it's a nice time to kind of reflect what you did in the first 6 months, how you can tweak, revise, and then go through the second half of the year, pedal to the metal, and finish strong with momentum. And technology and software, over a 6 month period, things that you think are cutting edge, everything's at warp speed. It'll be obsolete. It could be. So
Mhm.
it's just crazy what, stuff that I see every day. And I'm data addicted. So I look at so much that, hey, wow, that's really cool. Wow, that's a really good idea too. So it's amazing that the speed of information, out there on the Wild Wide Web. So the way we're going to do our episode is we do it in three parts. You'll tell your story, where you grew up, where you went to school, kids, sports, etc., how you ended up where you are today. Then we'll talk about lessons learned that we all went through over the roller coaster after the 5 years, and then in trends or new products that you see, in your sector that people might want, would want to know about. And then you'll leave your contact info and one positive thought or phrase, and then we'll finish the recording. So with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
So I originally was born in Dalton, Georgia. So,
Dalton,
probably
Carpet Land. right?
Yeah, carpet capital of the world.
Yeah.
That's our claim to fame. And I lived there for 23 years, went to college at Georgia Tech for computer science, and decided that it was time to try something new and move to New England. And I've been here ever since. So I'm kind of half there, half here. I feel like a Southerner, and I also feel like a New Englander. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of both. And when I moved up to New England, I started working for a company that basically built the smart components for SolidWorks, and we were acquired, and I ended up working for SolidWorks for 10 years or 10 or 14 years, somewhere between that range. Loved it. It was a great place to work. I always knew I wanted to do software, but I always knew I wanted to do something more applicable to something tangible, like the modeling part of it. People use that to build amazing things. I always found that quite exciting. And I did that for a really long time, loved it. It was a really fantastic atmosphere, but the travel was a lot. And so eventually commuting was just too much. I started to build a family and decided that it wasn't for me traveling that far anymore. So I found IMAGINIT, and it's been great. I've been there ever since. Um, Now this is more of an AEC software that we build. We're more in that market, and it transfers slightly, but it doesn't, completely transfer. But it is still very applicable to the 3D modeling and the use cases of people building things that help other people, and I really enjoy that part of writing a software tool instead of like something like financial software or something else that might not feel as world building, or very helpful to the rest of society. I just find it's nice to have a product that helps other products that are helping other people, I guess, in the long run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure. Al, one of my favorite places to ski up in New Hampshire was Waterville Valley. Is that still there?
Hmm. Oh yeah, sure. It's like an hour and a half from my house. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I grew up in Philadelphia, New York, so, Poconos, New Hampshire, Vermont, really cold, but Waterville Valley is a nice little mountain to ski on, because it's not that far out of Boston, and I'm sure they get plenty of day skiers coming up there on the weekend. But anyway, it
We
I
do, but we're more backyard ice skaters. So
yeah,
at
yeah,
this house.
yeah, there you go. Listen, I was a hockey player, so I get it. I mean,
Yeah, we have all sorts of fun hockey that happens in our backyard.
I
It's
looked at
just
UNH. Hey, listen, I went out west to play. I was a hockey lacrosse, but know the Northeast very well. It's a ski bum. So Waterville Valley. So if you ever get up there, Waterville Valley, really cool mountain to ski on. So
Oh, I've been up there many times,
yeah.
in the summer and in the winter, but I feel like my kids don't like skiing as much as they like skating for some reason. It's just, I
Hey,
don't
my
know.
parents, as soon as I got out of diapers, my parents put me on skis and skates, and there's my history. So, uh, but no, the last time I skied Waterfall, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while. But I'm sure they've upgraded the chairs and all that. But it's a cool little mountain. It's not easy to get to, and good time. It was really nice weather when I was skiing up there the last time. So, um, talk about uh 2020. Everything's cruising along, and then boom, March comes in and everything goes kaput. Oh, it's going to be 3 weeks, 3 months. Here we are, 5 months later, and everybody's, we're out of the tunnel, but there's still some hindrances and so forth. This technology isn't going anywhere. Zoom or Teams or Google, whatever you're doing on there on the web, this is just a tool that cuts down your time, but it's not going anywhere. Talk about how you weathered the storm with your clients, looking back and some of the lessons that you learned that might be of interest.
So at this point in time, everyone was moving their storage to the cloud, right? Like it seems like the huge push for ACC, which was originally A360, and then BIM 360, and ACC now, was really like the a big push happened right then. And luckily, we had already moved our product to run on previously it was called Skyscraper. That was what it was kind of in the preliminary stage, A360. And we had already like been early adopters of this. So we were suited to just move along with the move to the with everybody moving their models to the cloud. So that was actually kind of good for us in the long run because it's lessened our support for file-based projects and Revit server projects because just people don't use them anymore as much unless they need them for a kind of like a federated or some sort of environment that's more secure
Hmm.
or like something some limitation that they might happen to need to use that. But so like a lot like probably 90% of our customers are on ACC or BIM 360, and that makes the software testing, the software writing, everything like that just slightly easier because there's just more less permutations and less areas that are going to cause failure. So it was a pretty good transition for us as far as that was concerned. And we've also found that through that period that and you may know this already, but that people are focusing more in the AEC market on data and learning about their data. And so at the heart of our product, it is a task automation software that works on premise. And we also have a cloud version that saves you time. Basically, it's like a robotic engineer, and it does like it can produce output, it can transfer files, but it also does a task that exports data from your Revit models. So that's kind of where we've been focusing lately because there's a huge push for machine learning and knowing about your data, model metrics. And we've had this automated task that extracts data for 10 years or more, 10, 12 years. So some of our customers have had their projects extracted to a SQL Server database for 10 years, all different towards types of projects. So they've got data on hand that they can use to either look at our analytics or extract and put in Power BI, extract and use clean up and use for machine learning with other data sets. Like there's a lot of potential of usage of our product in a different way than we used it previously.
We're data driven. I don't care what you're doing. Everybody's looking at data. Everybody's trying to improve. In construction, you want to build on under budget if you can, make it architecturally stimulating, make sure that all the processes are smooth, getting your subs paid, getting you paid, making sure you've got all the permitting done. But all that can be done with software. What's crazy when we were building this house. We dealt with the county, the environmental septic. Everybody, I live up here lake, so we had to put a septic tank in. Never had one before. Had to learn how to use it. And anyway, but you're on the portal, but the water department's not on there, and the engineering department, just the building department. And if they were all put onto one software, when I went to get my CO, my certificate of occupancy, after I got my last inspection done. I went on there and I had to go downtown and I said, look, am I cool? I'm closing my construction loan and making sure everything's in place. Are there any reports that I'm missing? And I asked them, well, why aren't you guys all on one platform or just make it easy? Because you all could know what the other departments are doing. And to get my CO, I needed the health department because they had the engineering come out, they look at your house, the outside, and then the septic guy would come out. It took him like 2 minutes. He opens up the lid, my septic guy's there. Hey, turn the thing, let me hear the alarm. Okay, you're good. And he left. But he still had to put a report into the system. And they said it might take a half a day anyway. It took a couple days, but maybe he was out in the field. Who knows? But I asked him, like, you guys need to upgrade this thing. And
Mhm.
you would make life so much easier if you had everything on one spot. As a builder, I would be psyched. But also, there's so many times I'm like, don't, when I would go into the water department or whatever, they were in the same complex across, but they didn't know what everybody else did. I said, this way, you all have been here. Everybody I met has been here for 20 some odd years, but you don't know what everybody else does. You really could streamline everything and make things so much easier for us out there in the building, especially if a new code comes up or you tweak something. And there was this little gadget that I had to put in between my washer dryer and my sink, and my dishwasher and the sink. It was called a water hammer. It was like a little $15 valve that you get at Lowe's or Home Depot. But that was one of the things. I
Mhm.
got flagged for two items on my build. That and my pull down attic door. I needed to put some weather stripping in there and a little insulation on the door. Other than that, it was clean. But I told the guy, I go, what the heck's a water hammer? I don't know what that is. He goes, oh, you're up there in Forsyth County there. You need to get it here. Let me show you what it is. He pulls it up on his phone. He goes, here's one at Lowe's, 1535. You take a wrench, you put it in, and you're done. I'm like, what does it do? I don't know. It just makes it more efficient, but you got to do it. It's code. And I said, okay. He goes, David, I'll see you down the road, same road house. Now you know you need the water hammer in there. Make sure it's in there. I'm like, okay. So, but hands-on with technology, that would be a great thing that they could just put up there as an announcement. Hey, all you builders out there, commercial, residential, industrial, whatever, data centers. Hey, if you have anything in the county, we want this thing called a water hammer in there. Everybody's got to put one in there. So make sure you do it so I don't have to come out there and flag you. And anyway, it was eye-opening because just that little part. Plus, they charged me $25 to have a guy come out the next day. And all he did was he opened up the sink. Okay, that looks good. Pulled down the door. Okay, you're good. Certificate. So, but if they would have told me
I
that,
mean, it sounds pretty good that you only had those two things that
well,
were, well,
the final, listen, was downhill. Once I got the house dry and I had windows and the roof put in, my wife's crew came in and she's been doing basements and kitchens and bathrooms forever. So we don't have to babysit those subs. They know what to do. We feed them well. They get paid, and she's been doing it for a while. But we never done a ground up. And I told her when we bought the land, I said, look, we're going to do it ourselves. We're not going to hire a contractor. We're going to do it ourselves. And so you can use it for your portfolio. She's women-owned minority business, and uh, my wife's, simple going, but she knows what she wants. If she has to, get a hammer or nail or sledgehammer, she'll go in there and do what she needs to do to get things done. But if you hire the right people, you can get things done that you don't need to babysit. And so, I needed concrete, I needed a framer, I needed a grader, and talking to those guys who were up in the good old boy network up here, up by Lake Lanier, you know how it is, in Georgia. Everybody kind of knows each other. Hey, I know a framer. I know this guy. He does this. I got to get you a dumpster, so I'm just a damn Yankee living in the South. You went the other way. You went from the South up to New Hampshire, you know?
sure is surprisingly not that much different than Georgia,
No,
really. I
no.
mean, it's got similar beauty. The people are very nice and laid back. I don't know. I feel right at home here,
But
even though I'm not at home.
you don't have the Georgia slang. You don't have that Georgia accent coming from Dalton, though.
Well, wait till I talk to my mother. It could change.
It's funny because people are like, "Hey, you're not from here." I'm like, "No," and they try. I'm like, "Yeah, I say water, so I'm from Philadelphia." But anyway, I've been here since '92, so I saw the Olympics get done. I saw all the building out. 20 years ago, this was just all forest out here. Now it's all built up in Dawsonville, and you get up into Jasper and all that in northern Georgia. It's just amazing what they've done. And but this was the boondocks when I came here. I think they were just finishing 400 to go up by 285 in the concourse right there on 285 in Atlanta. So it's been amazing to see all the stuff that they've done. But
Yeah, I was there from 92 to 96.
yeah,
So I was there
yeah,
for the Olympics. And also, it was really exciting to be on Georgia Tech's campus during the Olympics. You saw athletes there walking the campus all the time.
yeah. They built the
Very,
beautiful
very,
the aquatic center, for the diving.
yeah, we went and saw some diving, which was good, and some soccer semifinals. And yeah, so it was really nice. I actually was in the opening ceremonies
Oh, Maria.
as a dancer. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Yeah, it was neat to be able to see it. It's like a
and
life
when you went to Georgia
changing
Tech,
experience.
did
I
you?
did, yeah.
Yeah, you went to Georgia Tech. Most of the people go there. They're in computer science, engineering, whatever. But did you ever think where you were today that you would take what you learned at Georgia Tech and be able to apply it, or you know, when you look
I
back?
had no idea that I would go into something so different than what we learned in school. It was very theoretical in school, so you just really have no idea where you're going to go as far as industry is concerned. And I'm so happy where I ended up, just because it's a great place to be. I mean, maybe somewhere else would have been good too. I don't know. I didn't experience it, but I feel that working with the people that are building like real products that are really cool is always fun.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. So as we, like I said, it's a halfway point in 2025. We're going into the second half, Q3 and Q4. Do you see any trends that people might look, that are on that technology front that are looking, hey, what's the new and greatest thing that's coming down the pipe that you see out there? Because Listen, BIM software and all that stuff. It's just a really necessary tool. I mean, there are some contractors out there that don't even have a smartphone. They're probably still using slide rules, to measure, even though it's
Mhm.
accurate. But you can use
Mhm.
technology to find all that stuff. So I'd love to hear what you have to say because you're the firm that's at the forefront of all this.
I mean, I really do feel like technology is going to keep changing everything as far as decision making and knowledge and determining design permutations and all sorts of different things are going to change. I feel in the next 5 years, software is definitely going to change in the next 5 years. It's super exciting. AI is going to make everything um, like much different, I think, and we have to adapt and learn how to use it to our advantage. It's very good, a lot of it, but it's also you have to take it with a grain of salt as far as checking your data and making sure that you're feeding it with good data sets. I mean, we're looking into those kind of things at IMAGINIT and how they can apply to our data as well as our clients' data and how we can provide the tools they need to get more insights about how they're building and health or all different types of things that are come in play with that kind of AI and machine learning.
AI is a tool. I don't think in my lifetime, I don't think it's going to replace a lot of people out there.
People out there.
But uh,
But
in general, if it's used properly, I mean, I still write my columns in my head, and I might plug it in there to, maybe get the right right characters for my title or so for my SEO that these parameters that you have to do. But I still use it as a tool. But the biggest thing is, like a year ago, I don't think I was on a mastermind, this group of technology that I'm in, and they were building websites, and they were AI. You prompt if you're a prompt programmer, that's how you become good at AI. You teach it how you want to use it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
anyway, I watched this guy build 3 websites in an hour, and just simple landing pages with a funnel and so forth. But a year ago, you wouldn't have been able to done that, but now you actually can. So all these people that have went to school to be coders and all the stuff down the road, they'll probably just use AI. However, AI has a little limitations because sometimes it gets delusional. So you really do have to check the data. Even like if I put just simple stuff in there, it won't sound like me. So I don't, I kind of use it just as a tool, but I'm still up here and I can catch stuff like press releases that are sent to me. I know that they're AI written just by the way that they flow because well, listen, when I went to prep school, I read everything. Othello, 1984, Catcher on the Rye, all these books. So I had to have a vocabulary of words, but the way it sometimes it just doesn't sound right, and you have to go out and tweak stuff that you use. But it was mind blowing to see that this person could just talk to AI. He didn't like using the type, he liked using the microphone. And he went in there and it just pulled all the code, and then you had to look at it and make sure that things were working. But I mean, there was a 15-year-old on this call, and he was building websites. And it was insane. I told my web guy, I go, what's the deal with this? I think down the road everybody's going to go this route. He goes, yeah, but you still need the code, and you got to check things and this and that. And but a year ago, you probably
It's
would, right?
it's not an architect, right?
Yeah,
Like it's not a
exactly.
software
It's not.
architect. It's not going to know. I mean, it may in the future, but right now it's not going to be
Not
able
yet.
to understand how the pieces go together and how to do it well. But building something as simple as like a little website, yeah, sure, it's great at it. I mean, if you need to create an API for something, that's also very good. So it is good at a lot of simple tasks and getting you right up and running. I mean, they have a name for it now. It's called vibe coding. And a lot of people are doing it. Like they're thinking, oh, I want to write a bit of code just to manage something around the house. And it's easy for novices to do something like that now, which it wasn't before. And so it's kind of exciting because I feel that, people are feeling empowered to be part of this space that I'm trained in. And I think that's really kind of cool, right? Because they're going to have ideas of things they want to run and things they want to do. And if it's in their own context, it's one thing, but maybe there are other like good ideas that these people can, run on or something like that. Like, I think it's really exciting,
I
personally.
had I had an AI guy on, and he was he was looking, with the cloud and all that, and very construction oriented, applying his application. But he said, look, if you're building a high rise, multi-story building, and it's, 30, 40 floors, uh, humans, if let's say you're putting in HVAC ducts, they're not all the rivets and so forth are all not going to be straight. There'll be little variances. But if you had an AI robot programming and it would be duplicated so much more precisely. And the way he presented it was very, very powerful. And I got it from a data guy, but some of the people that aren't. But as times now, a year ago, as I look back, a lot of people have adopted it now, and everybody's intertwining AI in some way or fashion into their business or daily activities. But that was a really good example of how you can make your projects by using technology, but still someone's got to build that robot and install it. And so it's kind of like transferring the labor force to, but I still think you're still going to have people like when we had the plants. Do I see robots installing plants? No. In bushes? No. Do I see that being done? No. Someone had to build that truck. Maybe it was a robot that built that 18-wheeler. I don't know, but it, it it is such a cool thing because the people that wouldn't even touch technology, they go in there, play with it, and learn it. You get addicted to it, but you could, like a person, like just like you said, hey, I want to have my daily tasks, and you could write it, and boom, you'd make your life that much more simpler. Just like virtual assistants. Do you need one? No, but when you're really busy, maybe that can help. And it's I always tell people it's like push button 101. If you learn how to manipulate it with code or just software programs, and not everything in there is going to be, I tell people, look, go take the free tests, look and see if you need it. If you can get it that way, great. But not everything's going to be for you. But you got to look and see what you like and what you don't like, and then when you're comfortable with it, who knows? Maybe you can improve something down the road. A mobile app or whatever it might be, and because everybody's connected to their phone, that's for sure. And but from a construction standpoint, I think if AI was not involved over the last, the roller coaster we've been on, because some of my clients had the best years that they've had. They would have had better years if they had more superintendents or project managers to oversee those projects because there was a shortage of them. You couldn't find them. But AI kind of streamlined that process from project management to execution to finishing it. And I think that it was a major plus to have that here over the last couple of years. Uh, Now everybody's kind of looking at it as, and just technology in general. How can I find the right software is good that's going to improve my efficiency? Whether it's construction or my Salesforce or prospecting, whatever it might be. And it really is. So I said it's an amazing time to be alive because I remember when computers were just coming into space, into play. I remember how slow my first computer was. Well, do you remember your first computer? I think I had a compact Presario. I don't know. I remember when the first Mac came out. I was in college in 1980, and we were playing tennis or whatever on that thing. But it's
Mhm.
crazy when you look back and fax machines with the little ring and the dial tone, and now they're all gone, and landlines are gone. Everybody's on their phone, so it. Technology is just unbelievable how it's sped up life over the last couple of years. And your sector, just because it's so precise, like you said, you're helping people with products and the way that they daily interact with them, et cetera. It must be a good feeling that you're helping, right?
Well, I'm glad that they're having time to do the things they want to do instead
Yeah.
of having to, do this stuff that the task automation software does for them, right? They have a lot more extra time to build things and make things. And that's just more fun in general for everyone, to be able to do your job
What's
better
one of
and
your
more
favorite
often
product?
without distractions.
What's one of your
I'm sorry.
favorite projects that you worked on that you look back over your career that was really cool?
Oh, that's a hard question. I mean, there's just so much that I really enjoy doing. I don't know. I've worked in, I mean, it's kind of fun to work in the modeling space. So if I'm like designing something or reading about elements or, actually in the actual, like either Revit or SolidWorks or something like that, I find those kind of like really hardcore applications kind of interesting to be in. and work in and learn about the geometry and that kind of thing. I find that kind of engaging. So those are always projects that I enjoy doing. I mean that's pretty a good place. And then also like I kind of like the bigger picture things too, where you can combine multiple different platforms and come out with something kind of exciting. I find that this new there's a new platform called MCP that we can connect to different APIs and give a large language model to it that I find it's kind of a new interesting place to play.
Yeah, my mother was working with a hologram company back in like the 70s. That's how far back this stuff goes. People don't realize it. It's not like AI just came out. It's been around for a while. And now all these other different technology that were primitive, now with AI, they can improve them and, bring them more into life. Like you said, the way you apply your software. And you look back, shoot, that was almost 50 years ago that they were playing with that stuff. And she had sent me some things. She sold her house, and she had like the original little slides of these holograms, back in the day that they were pieces of glass, but they, were 3D. And when you look at that, they're like, God, it's amazing that they did that stuff. We had black and white TVs with just antennas, and here they were doing this stuff way back down. And now where technology is, and like I said, it's just an amazing time to be alive because of technology. If someone was out there in commercial construction coffee talk and they wanted to, they were maybe they're working on a program or maybe they don't like their software and they want to upgrade it or try something new. If they wanted to reach out to you or your team, how would someone reach out to you on commercial construction coffee talk that are listeners right now?
Yeah, we're on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. IMAGINIT Technologies is on LinkedIn. We have lots of resellers and sellers of our product, and we are happy to reach out to anyone. We use a lot of our clients are top 100 architecture firms. Like we have tons of in ENR top 100 firms, but we are always looking for more because we love saving people time. It's just a great place to be. And we're also looking for partnerships and things that we can do together and people with great ideas that we could, use in our own development environment, in our software products group at Imagine.
Well, I'll put your profile in the description when I'm doing my editing. Also, put a couple captions in here so people, while they're listening or watching this, they can see it as well. And I'll put that in there. So if you're out there and you're playing with technology, whether it's modeling, BIM, whatever, and you're thinking you had some questions or maybe how you can integrate it with your other software, or imagine it might be able to help. Reach out to Mandy. She's been there. She went to GT Buzz downtown, and that's what they go there for. She's probably excellent at what she does, and like I said, she's having fun, and with what they're doing here today, and then moving in to the remainder of 25 into 2026. So I'll put all that information in there, and reach out if you want to bounce some questions off her. If there was a
And if anybody's there,
Hey,
we'll have a booth.
LinkedIn's the place
Come
to
by
be
and
as
say
far as I'm concerned. You got to be there.
hi.
If you were going to leave one positive thought or phrase as we go into the second half of 2025 into 2026, what would it be?
Well, my thought in life is just keep learning, embrace the changes, run with it, just enjoy that it's so dynamic,
I run 5 to 7 miles a day, and last year I did my positive thought. This year I've just been doing words. But the one thing I tell everybody is, you're going to make mistakes. You either win or you learn. You never lose. And the day you stop learning is the day you should go do something else. And and if you're going to learn something, make sure it's going to be beneficial to you. Don't do it if it's not. But that learning thing, it's just like a black belt. I'm a black belt too. You never stop learning. Hey, I got a first degree. I'm going to get my secondary. Secondary, you just never stop learning. And with technology, you're never going to stop learning because it's evolving at such a fast pace that you want to stay on the pace with it. You don't want to be left behind. And understanding how to use AI and all that stuff, technology is just a great way to go. So a couple things before we finish up. If you're out on a construction site, we want you to be safe. We want you to get home, be able to have dinner with your spouse, your kids, your pets, etc. Get some REM sleep, and then be able to do it again the following day. Number two, hey, it's really hot out here. You got to drink water. This is the athlete in me. When you get dehydrated, you make lousy passes. You don't put the ball in the net. You get headaches. You don't feel good. Dehydration, no fun. If you stay liquefied all day, especially in the heat, put some electrolytes in your water bottle. But you should drink a gallon a day. I know if you've never done, but I'm telling you, it'll make your body feel better. You'll sleep better. You'll wake up the next day, just raring to go. So stay hydrated on the construction site. And last but not least, hit the like button so YouTube will get the algorithms out there and hear Mandy's thoughts on technology, et cetera, and imagine it, and we'd appreciate it. So uh, thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. If I ever get up to your neck of the woods, I'd love to meet you in person and hey, who knows? Maybe go up to Waterville or go skating with your kids. I can still skate and bring it. I got both my ACLs were replaced, but I can still do it. Well, listen, everybody, it's almost hump day tomorrow, and then you got Thursday and a wind down day and Friday. Woohoo, TGIF, and then the weekend. And like I said, down here, school starts up north. That's always after Labor Day, and before you know it, it's going to be the holidays. You see technology, embrace it, and have a great rest and be successful. And before you know it, like I said, 6 months, put it all out there, and you'll see an amazing 6 months as you look back and get ready for 2026. So with that, I'm going to sign off from Lake Lanier, about 30 miles north of downtown ATL. And Mandy, I look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you so much, and we will see
Thank
you
you.
next time on another episode of Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. All right, cheers, everybody. See you later.